Hello and welcome everyone to the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana Town Hall Meeting. I'm Kelly Vaughn. I'm with WHMB TV 40 here in Indianapolis, and I'll be opening up today's program. So welcome again to everyone. You know, the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana, we're so excited today to announce that our national representative this year is Miss Everly Hairston. Everly is a fascinating woman with a powerful story. Her tenacious spirit and determination embody the Federation philosophy and have been invaluable tools in her quest to overcome the obstacles erected by social injustice. And we're going to be talking to her very shortly. But before we get to her, I'd like to at this time bring in some of the biggest cheerleaders and supporters of NFB Indiana. Your hosts for today, Lee Martin and Florence Myers.
We want to welcome you to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana show. And I'm your host, Lee Martin, and our co-host, Florence Myers. Once again, to our listening and viewing audience, we have a fantastic show for you today. And we trust that you pay great attention as we here in the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana are doing our annual convention. And today is the opening programming of the convention with our town hall meeting. Our town hall meeting today, we have our national rep, and she is Miss Everly Hairston. She is a strong advocate with the National Federation of the Blind. She is a woman of great culture, great respect. She is an icon and a legend in the history of the National Federation of the Blind, as well as in her community. And you'll learn a lot about her activism and her activities with the civil rights movement. She is very profound. She is a motivator. She is a great inspiration. And I just can't come up with enough accolades for her. She's a lady of many hats. And we've graced a lot of people on this show with the National Federation of the Blind and other entities. But I can honestly say, and I'm certain that Florence can say the same thing, we have a magnificent guest today that will leave you with inspiration. So welcome to the show, Miss Hairston.
Thank you. Gee, I hope I can live up to all of those accolades that I've been given. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, I just hope that we can live up to the standard that you have laid forth for us as we come about through the National Federation of the Blind, and not only through the National Federation of the Blind, but as human beings and as citizens of the world. That we can live up to the pathways that you have laid down through your lifetime and your efforts. And just want to say thank you. Florence?
Yes, Miss Everly Hairston. Now, this is my first opportunity that I've had to converse with you. I have, however, had an opportunity to listen to the podcast and in reading your book, Blind Ambition. I've learned a lot about you, and you are a phenomenal woman.
Well, gee.
Ms. Hairston, again, as Lee Martin has just said, I want to ditto what he said. Welcome to our show. It is an honor to have you as our special guest today. And Ms. Hairston.
It's my pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Oh, it's an honor. Ms. Hairston, in reading your book, I have had an opportunity to learn a lot of things about you. such as your journey, your challenges. And one of the things that you and I have in common is I too have retinitis pigmentosa.
Okay.
And like you, I tried to hide it from so many people over the years. And Ms. Harrison, what actually motivated you into writing that book? I know you have a lot to cover this afternoon, but that's a phenomenal book from a phenomenal woman.
What inspired me to write the book was I wanted to tell my story. The way I grew up on a plantation in North Carolina, my parents and grandparents were sharecroppers, as you read in the book. And to me, it was similar to living as slaves, because my parents and grandparents only made 30 cents out of a dollar during harvest time. And it was a lot of work, extremely hard work. And then having the opportunity to meet Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and march with him, going through North Carolina Central University with retinitis pigmentosa, and not being able to share my story or what was going on with me with my instructors, the professors, even my parents and other relatives. When I would say something, this is so unfortunate, my mother was ashamed. And I just want to quickly share a story that I think everyone should hear. When I was going to accompany my mother to a bank, and she was only a 7th grade student. She came out in order to do farming in the 7th grade. And so many things she could not handle or do. She relied on her children, and especially me. And so I was accompanying her to the bank, and she, before getting out of the car, she had said to me, "Everly, would you please leave your cane in the car?" Mm. That day was one of the days that I knew I had to tell my story.
Okay.
Well, there's so much to your reality. And I tell you, you stopped the show in one of our national conventions after Dr. Mark Maurer got through speaking. And I want everyone to know that you can go capture that or read that in our flagship publication, the Braille Monitor. And that was the Braille Monitor from March 2001 edition.
Wow.
Please go check that out, and we will run that information across the screen, as well as other information regarding the National Federation of the Blind. And we're going to take us a short pause, and we're going to come back with our guest. As you can hear, that she is just going to give you a lot of insight and a lot of inspiration. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Enjoy the commercials. See you shortly.
NFB Newsline celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mi nombre es Enrique. Quiero hablarles de NFB Newsline. NFB Newsline es un servicio para gente no vidente o de poca visión que les permite leer periódicos y revistas. Para más información, llamen al 855-693-6476 o métanse en la página de web en nfbnewsline-in.org. NFB Newsline is a service for the print impaired to read newspapers and magazines. You can subscribe or get more information by calling 855-963-6476 or going to the webpage at nfbnewsline-in.org.
Read NFB Newsline.
It's free.
Welcome back to this segment of the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana, the town hall meeting with our national rep, Everly Hairston. And Lee, I think we've got some questions today, right?
Yes, we do. And I'm sure we got some answers. So in this segment, we have questions from our affiliate members. These are dedicated members throughout the state of Indiana for the National Federation of the Blind. And our first question for our town hall meeting is from Mr. Michael Loft.
Okay, Everly, I really enjoyed your book, Blind Ambition.
Thank you.
I was really moved by the great lengths that you went to try to cover up for your sight loss. And you used some amazing ingenuity, as many people have. But I'm curious what you would say to someone now, or what any of us would say to someone that we know going through a similar situation, to say, hey, it's okay. Your life is not over. And let's talk about how to give you the tools that you need to make it, whether it be traveling, cooking, pursuing your careers and hobbies. So what would we say to someone to kind of help them get through that and adjust and accept?
I would say when you are ashamed and you're trying to hide the fact of your inability to see, you're only hurting yourself. Talk about it, get blindness skills, share with others, get involved in the National Federation of the Blind, because through the Federation, you will learn that the National Federation of the Blind knows that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. Learning that, you will learn that blindness is not what holds you back. We thought that when we were hiding it, but it's not the truth.
Agreed. Thank you very much.
What an answer.
Good afternoon, Abby. Abby, I understand you have a question also for our national rep.
I do. Thank you, Florence. My question is, what are the key factors which drive your commitment to the organization?
The key factors that drive me to my commitment in the Federation of the Blind are our 4 pillars of the organization: membership, education, rehabilitation, and employment. I have advanced in all of those areas as a result of being a member and a committed member for 36 years in the National Federation of the Blind. I was educated at the Louisiana Center for the Blind through the Federation of the Blind. Rehabilitation took place, and not just for me, but an opportunity to share with others when I became a chapter president back in 1990. And so sharing with others, you want to keep that commitment because you're providing a service. Employment, because of my commitment to the Federation of the Blind and my involvement, I was able to advance and move up the ladder with the National Organization of Health and Human Services in New Jersey. So I have many advantages that have been awarded me as a result of my commitment to the National Federation of the Blind.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you, Abby, for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We trust that you are enjoying the town hall meeting with the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana. And our next member with the question is Mr. Tyler Sherry. Tyler, go ahead and ask your question, please.
What accomplishments as a blind person have you accomplished over the years?
Wow. Thank you for that question. And it's really loaded. I am so blessed and so fortunate because I've been given so many opportunities. But I would say one of the most exciting accomplishments for me would be becoming a member of the National Board of Directors of the National Federation of the Blind. But then I go back to serving as president of the National Federation of the Blind of California. Not only that, but I served as first vice president. I served as first vice president of the National Federation of the Blind of New Jersey. I served on the National Scholarship Committee for a total of 23 years. So I met so many students and were able to mentor them. And I see them now in many careers, and they are now becoming the leaders of the National Federation of the Blind. I also started a chapter in New Jersey, the Garden State chapter. It was the largest chapter in the state of New Jersey at the time. And that was back in 1990 that I started that chapter just after graduating from the Louisiana Center for the Blind. I've accomplished so much. One of the things that is important that we must learn is I am filled with hope, energy, and love by participating in the National Federation of the Blind. My contributions make a difference to me and to others. It's the service that I provide, which means that that's what's important. And I just want to share quickly. There's a quote that I use often, and it goes like this. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service is joy. Thank you for that question.
I like that.
That was so great, I tell you. I guess I'm just grinning all on this screen here.
Now that was a good segment, and we're going to take a break now, and stay tuned for the next segment of the National Federation of the Blind Newsline, Indiana.
If you or someone you know is visually impaired or print challenged, the National Federation of the Blind has a resource you need.
Wow, I scored a touchdown when I found sports on NFB Newsline.
I enjoy reading TV guide listings on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind. We read NFB Newsline.
It's free.
Ms. Harrison, the next question will come from one of our younger members of the Federation here in Indiana, Ms. Jada DeBro. So Jada, do you have a question for Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Hi, Jada.
Hello, how are you?
I'm always interested in the young people because that's our future.
Yes, I believe that too. My question for you is, what is leadership to you, and how would you describe an effective leader?
Oh, wow. What is leadership? That is an excellent question. Because a lot of people want to be leaders, but they don't understand what the requirements are for a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Guidance, management, executing it is what's important. Creating and planning. An effective leader must have many, many qualities. One is courage. Mm-hmm. Another one is you have to be committed. It's a lot of time. It's time consuming. A lot of people want to be leaders, but they are not willing to put in the commitment and the time. You must have confidence, and you have to exhibit that confidence so that you can gain the respect of those who are following you. You have to have many traits, such as you have to have a vision. You have to lead by example. So many leaders, they want to instruct and tell others what to do, but they do not lead by example. That is extremely important. We must demonstrate integrity. We must be able to communicate effectively. Those are just some of the traits, the responsibilities, and the characteristics of a good leader. Thank you for that question.
No, thank you. That really answers my question.
Oh, great.
I tell you, this town hall meeting is so fulfilling, and I want to thank you once again, Ms. Harrison, for just all the great knowledge that you're sharing with us and our membership with the affiliate with the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana, and all of those that are listening across the country. I'm trusting that they are having the same revelation that I am having, and just being so thankful just for you, just for you. And so our next question comes from a longtime affiliate member. She has worn so many hats, and as you just described leadership, she exemplifies all of that. And that's Miss Tammy Hollingsworth. So Tammy, your question is now for you to ask.
Great. And thank you so much, Ms. Hairston, for your time and for listening. So we all have experiences in our lives, and they last a lifetime. Sometimes those experiences cause memories that last forever. Sometimes they teach us things that we would never, ever do again. So I have kind of a three-part question for you. What experience have you had in your life that you've experienced that was amazing and you would like to do again? What is an experience that you have had and would never repeat again, and why? And what is something that you wish that you could do in the future?
Okay, one of the things that I have experienced is whitewater rafting. It was, just exhilarating. I encourage all of you, take that risk, go whitewater rafting.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yes, it's great. Kayaking, all of those things I've done, and it was just awesome. One of the things that I've experienced that I will never, ever do again, and I advise against it, and that is using a telescope cane when you're traveling extensively. It is not as safe as a straight or a 7-fold cane. Actually, using a telescope cane, I fell down several steps years ago because the cane collapsed on me. I am fortunate that all I did was fractured my wrist because I put it up, my hand up over in front of my face as I was going down the steps to save me. Goodness. I was very fortunate. My recommendation is use a straight cane or a 7-fold or another cane, and not a telescope cane when you have to travel extensively, because it is not as safe. So that's one thing. And the last question, repeat it again.
The last thing was, what is something that you have always wanted to experience and hope to in the future?
I hope to go to Africa.
Oh, awesome.
That is my dream. I have relatives who have a clinic there, and when they were there this summer, they contacted me and I promised them that in the next year or two, I would be joining them in Ghana at their clinic.
That sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tammy.
Okay. Now, did not we say that Miss Evers Hairston is a phenomenal woman? We have another question. And this next question comes from Mr. Ray Montgomery.
Right. Well, thank you. Pause that. Take two. Thank you, Florence. Thank you, President Martin. And thank you, Ms. Hairston, for allowing me to come on the NFB Newsline show and talk to you and really get to know you a little bit better. So my question is, what can we do as the National Federation of the Blind to really increase job opportunities for our fellow blind brothers and sisters?
That is an excellent question. I often share this with chapters. So many of the members do not feel the need to get blindness skills. A lot of people feel that Braille is antiquated. It is not. When you are a college grad and you cannot read Braille, what that simply means that you are educated, but yet illiterate. I believe that. I have witnessed and experienced that. And so getting blindness skills is one of the main ingredients for getting and maintaining a job. Having orientation and mobility skills on the job is extremely important. Not having to have someone take you by the arm and lead you when you're on the job. Now, are we discriminated against because of our blindness, sometimes because of the color of our skin? I experienced that. But I have said often, life is tough, but apparently I am tougher because you know what? I experienced those challenges, but I did not allow any of those challenges and difficulties that I experienced to stop me from striving to pursue my dream and to become employed, but not just employed, but to be able to move up the ladder.
Thank you.
What a great answer to a wonderful question. And we have more questions and answers coming forth. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with our guest, Miss Everly Harris.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
As I travel the nation, I read NFB Newsline.
I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, and I listen to my local news on NFB Newsline.
As a student, I enjoy reading current events on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today.
NFB Newsline celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mi nombre es Enrique. Quiero hablarles de NFB Newsline. NFB Newsline es un servicio para gente no vidente o de poca visión que les permite leer periódicos y revistas. Para más información, llamen al 855-693-6476 o métanse en la página de web en nfbnewsline-in.org. NFB Newsline is a service for the print impaired to read newspapers and magazines. You can subscribe or get more information by calling 855-963-6476 or going to the webpage at nfbnewsline-in.org.
Read NFB Newsline.
It's free.
Now, our next question comes from, actually was from Dr. Yvette Reed, and who was not able to be here this afternoon. However, a question is going to be presented through Rod. And Rod, you have a question for Dr. Hairston.
Does the use of the term equality in Blind Equality Achievement Month help perpetuate ableist ideas we are trying to combat? Why or why not?
Our pledge for the National Federation of the Blind is, I pledge to participate actively in the efforts of the National Federation of the Blind to achieve equality, opportunity, and security for the blind, to support the policies and programs of the Federation, and to abide by its constitution. Okay. So what equity means versus the equality that we need to look at today is fair. Fair. Equity means what's fair and independent. So if we look at the history of the National Federation of the Blind, unfortunately, there were times when Blacks were not welcomed into the National Federation of the Blind. And in recent years, unfortunately, there were chapters and affiliates who did not feel that it was necessary to give or to allow, if you will, Blacks the opportunity to be leaders in the chapter, in the affiliate. Those things happen. Even as a national board member, I have attended state conventions, and I have talked about that at a national convention where there was discrimination, unfairness was presented, and it's real. But we must believe in ourselves and not allow those things to stop us. Because when I was in a state there to represent our national president at a state convention, and I had quickly gone to my room to freshen up after arriving by plane and going to meet the president there. I arrived at the elevator and I could hear people talking among themselves. And so the person that I am in my character, I said, "Good evening, hello, ladies." And I heard nothing. I said it not twice, but 3 times, and no one responded. Then I heard the elevator stop on our floor. And I tried again. I said, "Are you getting on the elevator?" And the response was, "I'm not getting on the elevator with you." And they called me the N-word. How did I treat that? I treated that with thinking about what I had done over the years when I marched with Dr. King. Knowing that I had in my lifetime, tried to make things better so that there was fairness for me as an African American woman. And so I did not stoop to their level. What was interesting is that when I arrived on the first floor, shortly afterwards, I could tell that those were the same voices that I'd heard on the floor when they walked up to the president and said, "Hi." My back was turned to them. And the president said, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are here because I would like to introduce you to our national representative." Can you imagine what they must have looked like then? But I remain the person that I am. Respectful, vigilant, and knowing that I was there for a purpose and was not going to stoop to their level. I had a responsibility and I performed that responsibility. All we can do is make note and work hard at trying to make a difference. Some people will never change, and that is something we must unfortunately accept. But that does not mean that we as individuals need to change who we are. That's my answer.
Well, I'll tell you what, that answer is helping me out a lot. I tell you, as I contemplate my own biases and my own leadership in these days and times, I certainly gravitate to just every word that you just said.
Yeah, discrimination has been in the world for years. It continues to be. But you must believe in who you are, in your mission and your purpose, and go forward in spite of. Look at what's happening in our world today.
So far, so great with this town hall meeting. I trust that you all are enjoying it. I know that I am, and I'm most certain that you are as well. So our next question will come from Mr. Kane Brolin.
Such an honor, Ms. Hairston, to have you at this convention, and it's great to meet you. My question is just this. You've seen so much in your life. Do you believe that it is better now for Americans and minority groups and Americans with disabilities than it was 50 years ago? And the second part is, what more would you like to see changed during your lifetime?
Great question. Absolutely, things have changed. 50 years ago, there was so much discrimination and lack of services for the blind. Without the white cane law, the blind cannot walk the streets with a cane. Blind people were not employed as they are today. Blind people could not travel as they do today. So, I mean, there's just so many things. The blind people weren't employed in many of the companies and organizations in government as they are today. And a lot of that is due to the organizations for the blind, because one of the things that I have done over the years is I have gone to Washington, D.C. since 1989. I have not missed going to the Washington seminar. When we go to Washington seminar and we take our issues to Congress and to our senators, we have been successful in fighting for the services and the advancement for accessibility for the blind. So yes, things have changed, but there's always room for more. As we grow, as we advance, as people change, as things in our world change, as we see that every day when you look at the news, things are changing. The world is changing. So what can we do? We can continue to stick together as an organization and remember that what's important for us so that we can continue to go forward is to understand, and I really mean that, understand our brand architecture. Know what our tagline is. You can live the life you want. First of all, you have to believe that. Too many blind people still don't believe that they can live the life they want. Our brand promise, together with love, hope, and determination, we transform dreams into reality. You have to believe that. Whatever your dream is, you must believe that it can be transformed into reality. But not just alone. Remember, together. That's the first word, together. We can do it together. And then we have our brand proposition. I am filled with hope, energy, and love. By participating in the National Federation of the Blind, my expectations are raised. My contributions make a difference to me and to others, and I can celebrate the realization of my dreams with my Federation family. And most important, that we must continue to strive and to focus on to go forward is the National Federation of the Blind's brand personality. What is our personality? We are inspiring, we are innovative, we are powerful, and we are inviting. We must continue to focus on our brand personality and believe in that in order to go forward, to move forward, and to meet the challenges that we will encounter today and tomorrow. We must remember that today is the first day of the rest of our lives. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is the first day of the rest of our lives. What can we do today? Don't put off waiting for tomorrow. Do what you can today.
So, Ms. Hairston, we have a couple of questions for you as a part of today's town hall meeting. And these are from members who could not make the call today. And this particular question comes from Alex Gillen. Mm-hmm. And he says, there are many who say the NFB is in the midst of a transition as it relates to intersectionality of our membership. How would you characterize this transition? And what advice would you give to Federation members who may feel disenchanted or confused about these times in the NFB?
I would say that that is true. We are in a different time in our life, and it's everywhere. Things are different. And one of the things about the National Federation of the Blind, we are very innovative and we are able to move with the times. We are a very powerful organization and we accept people as they are and we respect them because that is one of the things that we do and teach in the National Federation of the Blind is to teach others that it is respectable to be blind, regardless of your ethnicity, whatever challenges or whatever you choose to be, we still accept you and want to invite you into our organization.
All right, all right. Have one more question for you. Okay.
Sure.
And this is from Angela Timberlake. And she asks, what obstacles or challenges that you have faced are you thankful that you experienced? And how do you feel that they have shaped you into the strong and accomplished woman that you are today?
One of the things that in early on, when I first started losing my sight, I went for service and was denied, but I didn't stop. What I did is I got in touch with the National Federation of the Blind. I was invited to a convention, and that was back in 1987. And I have not stopped since. I've been involved in the National Federation of the Blind at many levels. And I really, what is going on with me is all of the challenges that I have had to meet. I will say to anyone, never give up. And one of the ways in which I have been able to continue, I attribute it to my faith. And that was my upbringing.
Well, Miss Everly Hairston, I tell you, thanks for that answer.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, you done set the world on fire today. I tell you, I certainly am enjoying all of this. And I know that our listening and viewing audience throughout the state of Indiana, as well as around the country that has joined in for our National Federation of the Blind Indiana town hall meeting, which actually opens up the National Federation of the Blind Indiana Convention. So we've had such a great conversation today and with our affiliate members. And I know that our state president, Ms. Diane Graves, she wanted to be on this so badly, but she also had other obligations with employment. So she sends her apologies, but you'll hear a lot from her throughout the convention, as you will with our former president and also board member, Mr. Ron Brown, throughout our convention. And Ms. Harrison, I tell you, we just want to thank you. I mean, I'm just lost for words. Florence, you got something to say with her?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I have been hanging on every word, every answer to each question. And Ms. Harrison, I cannot wait until our convention. Actually, as far as some of the wisdom that you shared today, I cannot wait until we can hear you speak, goodness, at our banquet, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and I wish you were here, I tell you. Hey,
Rob, I wish I were there too. But I want to thank both of you for what you're doing. It is excellent. It is a way to reach and to really increase your membership. That's something that we focus on. We want to continue to focus on membership. So I thank both of you for what you're doing. It is marvelous.
You know, we do so much work throughout our federation. All of us do. Each one of us, member by member, person by person. And to just, you know, it's just like when you need a refresher or you need a boot or you need a kick in the pants. You're just all that. And I tell you, just a great reboot. And for me personally, and I know that for our membership as well, we've been blessed just to have you. We have just concluded our National Federation of the Blind Indiana Town Hall meeting. And we just trust that you continue to join us throughout the convention and join us for all the education all the awareness that we project through our advocacy. And we just want you to enjoy yourselves as you come in and out of our convention this weekend. So Florence, and to Ms. Everly Hairston, and to our listening and viewing audience, we want to thank you once again for joining us on the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana show. And we look forward to your future participation on our show. We appreciate your calls and your comments that you send to us on a weekly basis. So until next time, may God continue to bless you and keep you. And you make sure that you keep others as well. See you next week.
The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. For more information, go to nfb-in.org or call 855-963-6476. That's 855-963-6476. The National Federation of the Blind encourages you to live the life you want.